Hello everyone. Today we will be talking about the ninth chapter of Ashtanga Hridaya Sutrasthana, which is called as Dravyadi Vikyani Adhyaya. This Adhyaya is being followed after Matrashati Adhyaya. In Matrashati Adhyaya, you have learned about all those Ahara Vidhis and different types of Ahara, the Viruddha etc. has been dealt in that. So now it was necessary to tell about the qualities of different dravyas, like how the different dravyas are made up of, what will be the real effect of these dravyas. So to explain all these things, more related to an Aushadhi, they have explained this Dravyadi Vijnani Madhyaya. So we know that in Matrashati Adhyaya, mostly we were talking about the Aharas, and Aharas are something that is more predominant with the rasas. So there is one more quality in it that is called as the gunas. So to explain those things in details, we have explained the chapter called as Dravyadi Vijnaniyam Adhyayam. So let's get started with it. So the first thing is that Pradhanata of Dravya. Why Dravya is considered as so much important in the context of all those pancha dravyas like the dravya, rasa, guna, virya, vipaka, etc. Why dravya is considered as so much important? So Acharya says that dravyam evam rasadhinam sreshtam. In the sequence of rasa, guna, virya, vipaka, prabhava, etc. He considers dravya as the most sreshta out of it, or most important or most parietal among it. Why? Because tehi tatasrayaha. Because all these other things called, let it be rasa, let it be guna, let it be virya, let it be vipaka, all these things depends upon this dravya. Means it takes asraya or it takes shelter in this dravya. If the dravya itself is not present, then there is no existence of rasa, there is no existence of its guna, there is no existence of virya, or there is no existence of vipaka. Hence, he considers dravya as the most important entity among all these things. Okay. One more thing he says that Panchabhutatmakam Tat. All the dravyas are found above Panchamahabhutas, or dravyas are made up of Pancha Mahabhutas. There is nothing else that can make a dravya. It is only the five Mahabhutas that is responsible for making or manifestation of each and every dravya present around us. Before continuing, let me tell you that dravya means any substance. Okay, so any substance present around us is made up of Pancha Mahabhuta. So, how this Pancha Mahabhuta helps in manifesting the Dravya has been explained over here. He says that the to Chama Adhishthanam Jayate. Chama is a synonym of Prithvi. Chama or Chama etc. is the synonyms for Prithvi. This Prithvi or this Prithvi Mahabhuta forms the Adhisthana of it. Adhisthana means the base in which something is created, that is being formed by Chama. Ambhu Yonyo. Ambhu means it's a synonym of Jala Mahabhuta or Up Mahabhuta. That forms the Yoni. Yoni means the origin. So first Prithvi forms the base of it, and from here the Jala Mahabhuta makes the origin of it, or the initiation of creation was started with the help of Jala Mahabhuta. Agni, Pavana, Napasayam, Samavayataha. All the other Mahabhutas like Agni or what do you say? Yeah, Tejo Mahabhuta, Vayu Mahabhuta, and Akasha Mahabhuta forms a combination in it. Means it will get add on to this Jala Mahabhuta, and thus with the help of Prithvi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, and Akasha, a Dravya is formed. Okay, so that means every Dravya is formed by its base as Prithvi, its origin or its yoni as Ambhu, Akasha, Vayu, and Agni, Vayu, and Akasha are in Samavayataha. Samavayata means inseparable relationship with this. Okay. Then Nivritar Visheshascha Vyapadeshascha Bhoyasaha. Now, the difference in different Mahabhutas is because of its permutation combination of this Mahabhuta. In some Dravyas, Prithvi will be more excessively present in it, and other Mahabhutas of Jala, Agni, Teja, etc. will be in a milder form. In some Mahabhuta, Jala will be highly aggravated form, and other Mahabhutas will be in a very less form. So this makes different kinds of dravyas in this universe. Why a rock is different from water is because it has more of Prithvi Mahabhuta, whereas water has more of Jala Mahabhuta. But that doesn't mean that rock doesn't contain Jala or Agni Mahabhuta in it. Rock also has the Jala and Agni Mahabhuta present, but in a very minimal quantity. So this permutation combination makes all the Dravyas different. Why two rocks are different is because of this. There may be more Jala and less Agni in one kind of rock, and there may be less Jala and more Agni in next kind of job. Not only Agni, there is Vayu and Akash also is present in a very minimal. All the pores, porosities, all the holes and all those things are created by Akasha Mahabhuta in a rock. So this indicates that all Mahabhutas are present in all the Dravyas. Okay. So I hope you understood how different Dravyas are manifested, how different Dravyas are different from each other. Now let's continue with the next topic, that is Rasa or the taste. So along with Dravya, Rasa is also important. But there is a detailed chapter called Rasa in the next chapter, that is Rasa Bhediyam Adhyayam. So here we are just concentrating on the definition of Rasa. तस्मात् एकरसं द्रव्यं भूतसङ्घातसम्भवात् न एकदोषस्तते रोगस्तत्र व्यक्तो रसं स्मृतः. So he says that there can be never ekarasa in a dravya because Bhuta Sankata Sambhavat, all Dravyas are formed by the combination of different Mahabhutas. Hence, we can never have only single rasa in a Dravya. Means, there is a Dravya which is made up of Prithvi Mahabhuta, less Jala Mahabhuta, less Akasha Mahabhuta, a little bit more of Vayu Mahabhuta, and very less Agni Mahabhuta. So, if a Dravya is manifested by like this, then naturally Prithvi and Jala predominance will make Madhur Rasa in it. But there will be always having Akasha will be forming some amount of Kashaya in it. Vayu Mahabhuta will also form some amount of Katu or Tikta Rasa in it. Agni will be forming Katu Rasa in it, so or Lavana Rasa in it. So there is multiple rasas in all the things. Even sugar has all these tastes. But the difference is that Vyakto Rasam Smritaha, what is being differentiated or what is being identified, what is being Vyakta. Vyakta means what we can perceive or what we can understand by keeping it as Rasanendriya. That is called as rasa. Other things are not called as rasa. In this dravya, in this example, the dravya will be having madhur rasa because madhura is vyakta. This is the only taste what comes to our mouth when we keep it. Even though there are small amount of other taste, it is not perceivable to us. So we call this dravya as madhura dravya. Got it? Just like that, na eka doshastatu rogas tatraha. Roga or the disease can never be produced by a single dosha. There is visheshan of multiple doshas. For example, when vada is getting aggravated, kapha is going down in it. So there is involvement of kapha kshaya also causing in the manifestation of roga. Not only vada vriddhi has caused the roga, there is involvement of kapha also in it, and there will be some deviation in the pitta also. But as vata is more aggravated, we generally call it as vata chavyati. In the same way, based on the severity of the rasa, we call that dravya as one particular dravya, the madhura rasa or something like that. We don't intermediate other minor rasas, or we don't attribute these minor rasas to that dravya. Okay, so this clears the concept of how rasa is, all the rasas are present in all dravyas, but we identify only one rasa out of it, which we call as vyakta rasa. Now the next thing is called as Anurasaha. So I told you about rasa which is clear. There is something that is not clear, we call them as Anurasaha. Avyakto Anurasaha. Kinjidante Vyakto api chaishtate. So Avyakto Anurasaha. What is not Vyakta or what is not clear to us while we keep the substance in our mouth is called as Anurasaha. Kinjit ante Vyakto api. Sometimes some of the things dravyas have Ante Vyaktaha. Ante Vyaktaha means at the end of it we will be getting that taste. Just like for example, you all might have eaten Indian gooseberry or amla. So while you chew amla, there is sourness or amla rasa is predominant in it, and we consider that as amla dravya. Because when we take it, you are getting the taste of amlada in you, isn't it? All of you might have taken it. But just wait for some time, or just at the end of eating amla, just drink a little bit of water. You will see that how sweet your mouth has become. So that madhura in amla was actually anurasa. It is because that is having predominance of Agni and Jala Mahabhuta, which forms Amla Rasa in the Dravya, but there is also some amount of Prithvi in it, which is getting Madhur Rasa also as a good perceivable taste. The same way, most of the drugs have this what do you say, Anurasa in it, but because of the predominance of the main rasa, we are not able to perceive other taste. Okay, so this is called as Anurasa. गुरु गुरुवादेव गुणः द्रव्ये पृथ्वादेव रसाश्रये रसेषु व्यापदिष्यन्ते साहचर्य उपाचरे. So here we says that in concludatory statement of all this discussion, we can put up this sloka saying that the Guruvadeva Gunaha Rasasraye, we usually see that the Guruvadi Gunas are actually present in the rasas, isn't it? So we say that if you take Madhur Rasa, your Guruta will be increased, your heaviness will be increased, isn't it? But actually, this Guru Guna is not present in the Rasa, not present in the Madhur Rasa. It is actually present in the Dravya. Okay, there is something called as Dravya. This Guru Guna was actually present in this Dravya. Okay, Prithvyadeyor apihi. What is this Dravya? It is Prithvi, Vayu, Up, Teja, etc. Actually, this Dravya is present in this Mahabhutas. Okay, or this Mahabhutas actually contribute to manifestation of this Dravya. Now, why we feel that Guruvadi Gunas are present in this rasa is because Raseshu Vyapidishante Sahacharya Upacharya, because both these things are inseparably situated or inseparably connected, hence we feel that Guruvadi Gunas are present in rasa. Okay, so actually Guruvadi Gunas are present in Dravya. Dravya is manifested by Mahabhutas, and the same Mahabhuta is manifesting rasa also. So we feel that these Guruvadi Gunas are actually present in rasa, but it is not true. It is because of the inseparable relation between these rasa and dravya, we feel that Guruvadi Gunas are actually situated in the rasa. Got it? So this is just read it multiple times. This maybe feels a bit confusing. So once again I'll show you. Rasa is there, dravya is there, and guna is there. Okay, we feels that guna and rasa is having a similarity because we have studied it like that, and we will be studying it like that in the future also. We will say that Katu Rasa can cause this, Amla Rasa can cause this. All the guna we will be talking in terms of rasa, but actually these gunas are present in the dravya, and both these rasas and dravyas are present in the Mahabhutas. Okay, take it as M. It is Mahabhutas. Okay, so this Mahabhuta is responsible for manifestation of rasa and dravya, and this Mahabhuta itself is responsible for creation of these gunas also, and these gunas are present in dravya. Okay, so there is a triangle over here. There is a triangle relation between Mahabhuta to rasa, Mahabhuta to dravya, dravya to guna. In what is a consequent, it can be Mahabhuta to guna also relation is there. So this relationship determines what the effect of dravya, how the dravya is going to act on a person. Now let's come to the qualities of each dravya in detail. What is the qualities of Parthiva dravya, or if Prithvi Mahabhuta Dravya is there, what it can cause to us and how it will be affect on our body, we'll discuss over here. Tatra Dravyam Guru Stula Stira Gandha Gunolpanam Parthivam Gaurava Taidya Sanghada Upachayavaham. So he says that a dravya, any dravya which is having Guru Guna, heaviness, Stula Guna, bulkiness, Sthira Guna, stability, and Gandha Gunolpanam, which is having the predominance of smell in it. Anything that can be smelled or it has the quality of smell in it, that is called as Parthiva. These dravyas are called as Parthiva dravya. And what Parthiva dravya will cause to our body? It can increase the Gaurava, it can increase the heaviness in our body, it can increase the Sthairya, it can increase the stability or compactness of our body. Sanghata is also some kind of unification or compactness, joints, all those things in our body. Upachayavaham, it also causes nourishment of our body or growth of our body. So this will be the effect what Parthiva dravyas cause on our body. Okay. Next dravya is Apya dravya or Jaladhara Mahabhuta. Drava Shida Guru Snigdha Manta Sandra Rasolpanam Apyam Sasneham Vishundhyaha Kleda Prahalada Bandhakrit. So up Mahabhuta dravyas will be having Drava Guna. Drava is fluidic or liquidic in nature. Shida Guna, it is cold in nature. Guru Guna, it also has some amount of heaviness, it can cause heaviness in the body. Snigdha, it causes consciousness or oiliness in the body. Mandha, it is very slow in nature. Sandra, it is thick in nature. These Dravyas are considered, and of course, Rasagulolpana, which is predominant with taste. Previous one was Gandha Guna, and here it is predominant with taste. Apyam Snehanam, it causes Snehana in the body or anxiousness in the body. Vishyantam is clearness or clearing of the channels, or what do you say, secretion, all these things you can call it Vishyanta. Kleda means moisture, wetness. So Sneha is oiliness and Kleda is moisture. Prahlada means happiness, horripilation, something like that. Bandhakrit means it can cause obstructions or some kind of cohesions also can be caused by Up Mahabhuta or Jala Mahabhuta. The next Mahabhuta is Agni Mahabhuta. Agni Mahabhuta Dravyas can cause Ruksha, Tikshna, Ushna, Vishata, Sukshma, Rupa Gunolpanam, Agneyam, Daha, Bha, Varna, Prakasha, Pachanatmakam. So what it causes is that it causes Rukshata in the body, Tikshnata, it is the any Dravya that is Ruksha, very dry in nature, Tikshna, which has the penetrating capacity, Ushna, which is hot in nature, Vishata is say that non-slimy or clearing, Sukshma is minute in nature. Rupa Gunolpanam. So it has predominance of Rupa. It has predominance of appearance, or it can be visualized that Guna is there, then that is called as Agni Mahabhuta Dravyas. Agneyam, what it causes in our body is that it can cause Taha, it can cause burning sensation. Bha means luster, or what is it? Yeah, luster. It is called as luster. Varna is our complexion. Prakasha, it can cause light. Pachanatmakam, it helps in digestion in our body. So this is the quality of Agneya Dravya. Next is Vayavya Dravya or Vayu Mahabhuta predominant Dravya. It causes Vayavyam, any Dravyas that are Ruksha, Vishada, Lagu, Sparsha Gunolpanam, Rauksham, Laghavam, Vaishadhyam, Vicharam, Glanikarakam. So any Dravya which is Ruksha in nature, dry in nature, Vishada in nature, non-slimy or clear in nature, Laghu, which is very light in nature, and Sparsha Gunolpanam, which is responsible for causation of touch sensation, or which has this touch sensation in it, that is called as Vayu Mahabhuta Dravyas. And it can cause Laghava, lightness to the body, Vaishadhya, clearing of the channels or transparency in our channels, Vichara is movements, and Glani Karakam, Glani means exhaustion or tiredness. So Vayu Mahabhuta can cause tiredness in our body. Next is Nabhasa Dravya. Nabhasa is a synonym of Akasha. Akasha Dravya Lakshana. They are Nabhasam, Sukshmam, Vishadam, Laghu, Sabdagunolpanam, Saushatyam, Laghavakarakam. So the Akasha Mahabhuta Dravyas are Sukshma in nature, very minute in nature. Vishada, again transparency or clearing of the channels. Laghu, lightness. Sabdagunolpanam, it can produce sound or it helps us to perceive the sound. Sausharyam, Laghavakaram, that does only two functions. One is Sausharya or porosity in the bones and all those areas, and Laghavakaram, it causes Lagutha to the Sharira. So these are the qualities of Panchamahabhutas, and it is very, very important. Please don't miss those things. Please take time and, if possible, by heart these terms. It is very important. Okay. Now there is another most important saying in Ashtanga. They are saying that there is nothing that is non-medicinal in the universe. Jagatevam anaushadam na kinchit vidya dravyam vashatah nanartha yogadam. As these dravyas are produced out of many Mahabhutas, it can be used in Nanartha Yoga. Nanartha Yoga means different yogas or different preparations. Any of the drugs can be used. Only thing is that we should know what it is made up of, because we know that all the Mahabhutas are made up of, all the Dravyas are made up of Mahabhuta. Hence, everything in this universe has some medicinal property. Hence, he says that Jagat Tevam Anaushadam. There is nothing that is not an Aushada. Not having Aushada quality in any of the substances in the universe. Only thing is that we should know how to utilize this property. Now he is talking about the property of Dravya. He says that Dravyam Urdakami Tatra Payo Agni Pavanotkatam. Anything that is moving upwards and that causes the movement of things in the upward direction, that has the predominance of Agni and Pavana, or Akash, Agni Mahabhuta and Vayu Mahabhuta predominance can be there in those two drugs. Adogami cha bhuishtam Bhumi Toya Gunadikam. Anything that is causing downward movement of the substances or anything that is moving downward direction, that should have Bhumi. Bhumi means Prithvi Mahabhuta predominance, and Toya means Jala Mahabhuta predominance. Okay, this is the quality of or property of Dravya. Remember that anything that causes anything in the upward direction or Vamaka Dravyas are having predominance of Agni and Vayu Mahabhuta. All Virechana Dravyas is having the predominance of Prithvi and Jala Dravya. With this, I will conclude the first section of this class or this chapter called Dravya Vikyanam Adhyayam. I'll be soon posting the second session, which is the continuation of this. Till then, thank you very much.